Perhaps one did not want to be loved so much as to be understood. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Every generation imagines itself to be more intelligent than the one that went before it, and wiser than the one that comes after it. The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again, but already it was impossible to say which was which. If you want to keep a secret, you must also hide it from yourself. The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. But if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. We shall meet in the place where there is no darkness. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Doublethink means the power of holding two contradictory beliefs in one's mind simultaneously and accepting both of them. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure wind. Until they become conscious, they will never rebel. And until after they have rebelled, they cannot become conscious. Now I will tell you the answer to my question. It is this: the party seeks power entirely for its own sake. We are not interested in the good of others. We are interested solely in power, pure power. What pure power means, you will understand presently. We are different from the oligarchies of the past, in that we know what we are doing. All the others, even those who resembled ourselves, were cowards and hypocrites. The German Nazis and the Russian communists came very close to us in their methods, but they never had the courage to recognize their own motives. They pretended, perhaps, they even believed that they had seized power unwillingly and for a limited time, and that just around the corner there lay a paradise where human beings would be free and equal. We are not like that. We know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Power is not a means, it is an end. One does not establish a dictatorship in order to safeguard a revolution. One makes the revolution in order to establish the dictatorship. The object of persecution is persecution, The object of torture is torture. The object of power is power. Now you begin to understand me. In the face of pain, there are no heroes. If you loved someone, you loved him, and when you had nothing else to give, you still gave him love. Power is in tearing human minds to pieces and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. Perhaps a lunatic was simply a minority of one. Being in a minority, even a minority of one, did not make you mad. There was truth and there was untruth. And if you clung to the truth, even against the whole world, you are not mad. Reality exists in the human mind and nowhere else. Freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 make 4. If that is granted, all else follows. Big Brother is watching you. It is a beautiful thing, the destruction of words. The essence of being human is that one does not seek perfection. The choice for mankind lies between freedom and happiness, and for the great bulk of mankind, happiness is better. I enjoy talking to you. Your mind appeals to me. It resembles my own mind, except that you happen to be insane. For after all, how do we know that 2 and 2 make 4? Or that the force of gravity works? Or that the past is unchangeable? If both the past and the external world exist only in the mind, and if the mind itself is controllable, what then? Man is the only creature that consumes without producing. He does not give milk. He does not lay eggs. He is too weak to pull the plow. He cannot run fast enough to catch rabbits. Yet he is Lord of all the animals. He sets them to work. He gives back to them the bare minimum that will prevent them from starving, and the rest he keeps for himself. People sleep peaceably in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. Nothing was your own except the few cubic centimeters inside your skull. Orthodoxy means not thinking, not needing to think. Orthodoxy is unconsciousness. On the whole, human beings want to be good, but not too good, and not quite all the time. We do not merely destroy our enemies, we change them. Confession is not betrayal. What you say or do doesn't matter. Only feelings matter. If they could make me stop loving you, that would be the real betrayal. Sanity is not statistical. You are a slow learner, Winston. How can I help it? How can I help but see what is in front of my eyes? 2 and 2 are 4. Sometimes, Winston. Sometimes they are 5. Sometimes they are 3. Sometimes they are all of them at once. You must try harder. It is not easy to become sane. Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. A scrupulous writer, in every sentence that he writes, will ask himself at least 4 questions. Thus, 1. What am I trying to say? 2. What words will express it? 3. What image or idiom will make it clearer? 4. Is this image fresh enough to have an effect? To die hating them, that was freedom. Men can only be happy when they do not assume that the object of life is happiness. This work was strictly voluntary, but any animal who absented himself from it would have his rations reduced by half. No one believes more firmly than Comrade Napoleon that all animals are equal. He would only be too happy to let you make your decisions for yourselves. But sometimes you might make the wrong decisions, comrades, and then where should we be? All the war propaganda, all the screaming and lies and hatred comes invariably from people who are not fighting. The masses never revolt of their own accord, and they never revolt merely because they are oppressed. Indeed, so long as they are not permitted to have standards of comparison, they never even become aware that they are oppressed. There was truth and there was untruth, and if you clung to the truth, even against the whole world, you were not mad. Your worst enemy, he reflected, was your own nervous system. At any moment, the tension inside you was liable to translate itself into some visible symptom. If you can feel that staying human is worthwhile, even when it can't have any result whatsoever, you've beaten them. Does Big Brother exist? Of course he exists. Does he exist like you or me? You do not exist. There are some ideas so absurd that only an intellectual could believe them. He wears a mask, and his face grows to fit it. If people cannot write well, they cannot think well. And if they cannot think well, others will do their thinking for them. The consequences of every act are included in the act itself. To the past or to the future, to an age when thought is free, from the age of Big Brother, from the age of the thought police, from a dead man, greetings. It was curious to think that the sky was the same for everybody, in Eurasia or East Asia as well as here. And the people under the sky were also very much the same everywhere, all over the world. Hundreds or thousands of millions of people just like this. People ignorant of one another's existence, held apart by walls of hatred and lies, and yet almost exactly the same. People who had never learned to think, but were storing up in their hearts and bellies and muscles the power that would one day overturn the world.